Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. Hi, I'm Rob from robandphoto.com, and today's video is going to be a field guide, a kind of new type of video where I'm going to be out and about testing stuff outside in the field. And what we're going to be looking at today is a kind of field test, if you like, of the Zoom H1 handy recorder, that beast there. As you can see, it's got something plugged into it, and what's plugged into it is the ATR-3350 lavalier mic, because these two go together perfectly. It's a great way of improving the audio quality on your video. Now, at the moment, I'm recording this on my HTC One Max smartphone, just using the screen side camera, so it's the poorest camera on the phone, and obviously using the built-in mic. What you'll be hearing from now on in different locations is the audio recorded on the Zoom H1 with the 3350 plugged into it. So I'll put the lav mic on about there. And the idea of this review is it will give you a really good idea of what you could expect if you were to use the 3350 plugged into something like the Zoom H1 or a different audio recorder in different locations, to see whether it gives you the quality you need for video. I mean, in previous videos I've done a review of the Zoom H1 and the 3350, and I don't think the 3350 lav mic's good enough for purely audio work, so things like podcasts, but I think for things like YouTube video it's pretty good. But I kind of tested it just inside. I want to take it outside and see what happens. The other thing to remember is that with audio from lav mics or even the Zoom H1, you do have to do post-processing on the audio files. So everything you will hear after this will be post-processed. So we'll be looking at basically what I do is I take the files from the Zoom H1 onto my laptop. I then take them into Audacity and clean them up. So I use the noise removal filter to remove the noise. Basically, you just find a quiet bit of the recording and then tell it that's the profile, and then the filter then takes the rest of the noise out. And then to bump up the levels, I then put it into a program called Levelator 2, which increases, well, it's like a super duper normalizer, and basically bumps all the levels, bumps all the volumes up, and that's what you'll be hearing. And that is essential, a bit like with a digital camera. If you're shooting raw, you always need to develop those files, you always need to work on them. With audio files, you always need to work on them. A couple of other things as well. On the Zoom H1, I'll be recording in WAV format. I'll be doing it at 44 kilohertz 16-bit sound. Auto levels are off. Low cut filter will be on, just to cut out some of any low hums or anything like that. And my input levels will probably be round about between 80 and 90, depending on the ambient noise. Okay, so there we go. Let's go out. Let's see what we can get and see how it sounds. Okay, so I thought I'd do like a control kind of situation first. So I'm still inside. I'm recording with the Zoom H1's in my pocket, and it's got the Audio-Technica AT-3350 mic attached to it, and we're inside, so it's pretty quiet. So this is kind of the normal audio quality you would get from a 3350 if you'd remove the noise and put it through a program like Levelator 2. So this, I guess, would probably be like the best audio quality you would get out of it. Now I'm going to head out and we're going to get out into the field. Okay, so our first on location is back in the car. So here we go, I'm in the car. What do you think of the audio? Does it sound okay? Does it sound usable? Tell you what, let's turn the car on so the engine's running. There we go, engine's running now. Should be a bit more noise. This is only a little car, so it's quite noisy, but there we go. That's the AT-3350 into the Zoom H1 in a car with the engine running. There's the engine off. Sound better, sound clearer. Does it sound usable? You can see there's my lav mic just there. It's probably got a little bit of my shirt in the way, but there we go. Right, let's go on to the next location. Okay, so we're just walking down your average suburban street, just in Gosport. Normal thing. It's a little bit windy, not too much, but hopefully that'll give you a good idea of the kind of wind sound, maybe a bit of clothing sound, maybe a little bit of background sound. I know the overall quality of the
AT-3350 going straight into a Zoom H1 and then being cleared up with Audacity and bumped up with Levelator 2.
Okay, so we're just walking down your average suburban street, just in Gosport. Normal thing. It's a little bit windy, not too much.
Okay, so we've moved away from the houses and we're now into a lightly wooded area. I'm still walking along a tarmac path, but we're going to be going into just down by Hardway, which is kind of I guess you'd call it a copse or a small wood. We've got a mud path, probably just see that down there. And you'll probably hear quite a bit of wind noise. In fact, if I just stop for a minute, here we go. So if you're out and about, you're trying to use the ATR-3350 with the Zoom H1, you know, you're trying to do a piece of camera. Hi, my name's Rob from robnonphoto.com. We're out on a field guide for the ATR-3350. This is the kind of background noise and stuff you'd hear. Remember, I'm putting all this through the Audacity to get rid of any ambient noise, probably. I don't know, with some of these files actually, where there's going to be a lot of ambient noise, I probably won't be able to use the noise filter. And then bump it up with Levelator 2. So there we go. Okay, so I'm in a bit of a quieter place now. Still a little bit of background noise from the wind. The trees seem to be a little bit more shielded here. So again, if you're out on location, well away from cars and things like this would be a good idea. As I said just in the previous clip, I'm not sure whether I will be able to use Audacity's noise filter to get rid of the noise, because the noise level is probably too loud and I'll probably cut too much out, but I will give it a go. And what I'll try and do is on the screen, I'll indicate whether I was able to use a noise filter or whether I just used Levelator to boost up the levels and boost up the volume. Okay, so this is quite a nice quietish location. Hopefully the 3350 and the Zoom H1 are performing adequately. So let's move on. Okay, so we're in more of an open position now. We're just down by this is the back of kind of Portsmouth Harbour going into Fareham Creek down by Pretty's Hard. It's quite windy up high. I'm a little bit sheltered down here, but there's some trees just sort of behind the camera that are making it, you know, that I can hear. But I don't know how well you'll hear that coming through on the AT-3350. There's some birds in the background. There's a industrial unit behind me. You can probably see where that smoke is coming from. That's making a little bit of a racket, but nothing too much. But there's some seagulls, I think, which are sort of this way, that are squawking away. But I don't know, what do you think? Does the sound okay? Is it usable? What do you think? Is the 3350 the bargain that I think it is? I don't know. Well, let's move on to a different location. Okay, so we're walking along quite, well, I'm saying quite a busy road. Depends if any cars go past while I'm recording this video. Just over my right shoulder. Here we go, some cars coming past to give you an idea of what sort of sound you can pick up. I'm probably, I don't know, 8 feet away from the edge of the road. Walking on a tarmac path. It's quite windy actually. There's lots of sound from the leaves on the trees. And cars obviously going past as well. So, you know, is this usable? Would it be okay for a video? Probably not okay for a podcast, but it might be okay for a video. But there we go, giving you a good idea. Okay, so we're walking along quite, well, I'm saying quite a busy road. Depends if any cars go past while I'm recording this video. Just over my right shoulder. Here we go, some cars coming past to give you an idea of what sort of sound you can pick up. I'm probably, I don't know, 8 feet away from the edge of the road. Walking on a tarmac path. It's quite windy actually. There's lots of sound from the leaves on the trees. The cars are obviously going past as well. So, you know. Okay, so there we go. That was the field test, the field guide of the ATR-3350. With the Zoom H1 handy recorder, which you should be able to see just there. Out and about, wandering around in the great outdoors, with the idea of giving you an idea whether it could be a possible solution for recording videos on location and not just at home or in the studio where everything's very, very easy. Remember, what I have done with all of the videos is I would have at least put them through Levelator 2 to boost up the levels and boost up the volume, and where I can, I'll have put Audacity's noise reduction filter through as well. But what I'll do is that will be, you will have seen those on top of the clips to give you an idea of whether I had to do that or not. That's it from me. My name's Rob from robandonphoto.com. Remember, you can email me, scalespeeder@gmail.com. Leave some comments down below. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.